Hooked On Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first. Hi, Chris Bungard, helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Well, a little bit of rough weather coming up for the weekend by the looks of it. We'll come back to that in just a moment when we cover the sea conditions around the place. Let's have a look at the local trout fishing for you for a start. Well, I've heard some good reports on Lake Karapiro. Yes, believe it or not, they're not just rowing on there, they're catching fish as well. These guys went out for a troll. They were trolling up the top end of Karapiro and trolling down towards the dam, and they got some lovely fish. They got 3, just over £3, and 1 just under 4, so there was some absolute beauties there. They were quite delighted and quite surprised really. They actually come down from Auckland and asked us, well, where do you think they should go for a bit of a troll around? They brought their boat all the way, just a little 14-foot tinny, but they had an absolute ball. They caught them on black and gold tobies, so if you're looking at something to do on the weekend, be careful though. There is quite a wind forecasted, although northeasterly it'd be alright on that lake. A little bit choppy, but it won't be too dangerous or anything like that. So yeah, perhaps have a look at the good old Lake Karapiro. If you're on the shore fishing, then down below Karapiro Dam is another good spot where it's nice and sheltered, and there's some good fish in there. Always has been, always will be. They are hard to catch, but it's a great place to take the learned fishers. You don't have to cast the fly far. You can also use worms, quite legal on the Waikato River, and it's a good place to teach kids. Also, make sure they're wearing a life jacket if you take them down there, because I'd hate them to fall off. There's a rocky edge there, and if they fell in, they'd be gone, so just be careful on that one. In the Rotorua region, talking to Glenn Skinner down there, he's quite excited about the way Lake Rotorua still continue to fish. As I said last week, this time of the year, the fish come through. What happens is there's a pattern happening. As they go to spawn from Rotowidi, they come through the Ohio Channel and into Lake Rotorua, and then they carry on from Lake Rotorua up into some of the 11 tributaries that run into Lake Rotorua. So there's 11 little rivers and streams that run in there, and a lot of them carry fish numbers, of course, in good numbers. Like the Nongata, the Awaho, those sort of streams like that, they are well worth looking at this time of the year, particularly for the rainbows. The brownies are sort of going off a wee bit now. Some of the brownies have come back into the lake, so they're still available for those trolling and that sort of thing. But what happens is, because the fish are coming through from Rotorua, it builds the numbers up in the lake even more, and Lake Rotorua has got one of the best catch rates per hour of any lake in the world. In fact, he tells me down there, Glenn Skinner, and he's a trout guide of a lot of experience. So listen to what he has to say. Also around the island in Lake Rotorua, he tells me there's some good fishing to be had trolling around that at the moment. You don't need a lot of lead line or anything on that lake, and that makes it more of a sport fishing as well. Tertiary colours is plenty. In Taupo, talking to my man down there, Ken Duncan, who does a lot of trout fishing in that area, he's excited about the way the Tauranga Taupo and the Waitanui are fishing. They've had a bit of rain down there. Now, over the weekend, it just depends how much this northeasterly front brings through, because they are talking more showers and on Saturday and a bit heavier on Sunday. So you should be okay on Saturday, I think, and Sunday might put pay to it with the rain. But watch out next week when it clears again. That bit of rain will be just the trigger it needs to get a few more fish into those rivers and streams down there. On the lake itself, it's been a little bit patchy, to be fair. The best fishing's been on the jig around some of the reefs out in the middle of the lake. Now, the sea fishing, well, I'm talking to Dwayne Pinney, who runs a charter boat out from Kawhia. He's really excited about what's happening, because they've actually had the opportunity to get out there and catch a bloomin' fish. It's been very frustrating. The conditions have a lot of off-sea winds. We've had southwesterlies and all that sort of thing. And, you know, you might have noticed that Scott Donaldson's kayak washed up on the coast the other day in Taranaki. What a pity he wasn't still alive in it and doing well, because he would have done that feat. But yeah, what I'm saying there is there's obviously been a lot of winds coming in from out at sea, and that's been a real frustration for a lot of the charter skippers and ourselves who try to take their boats out over the west coast. But this next few days, with this northeasterly coming through, it's just a ticket for out there. And the last couple of days, Dwayne's been managed to get out. He's been out in about 55 metres of water. That's 55 metres of depth, not 55 metres from the shore. And they've been getting some quite nice snapper. Not huge and not big numbers. The other day with the charter, they got about 40 snapper, and the biggest was about 11 pounds. So quite nice. He's gone away from the southwest reef now. They get really small on there at this time of the year, and you're best to go out on the sand. So if you do get a chance over the next few days to get out there, and I think you will because of the weather, then head out to around about that 55 to 62 metres. Just keep an eye on your sounder, have a look for sign on the bottom, and that'd be the depth that I'd be heading out for a fish on the west coast at the moment. In the Coromandel region, It's going to be a little bit of scruffy weather around, nor'easterlies, but that's okay with Waikowau Bay and Te Kuma, that sort of area there. It's pretty sheltered from the nor'easterlies, of course. You've got that big Coromandel range, which keeps it reasonably sheltered. There's going to be some rain around and that sort of thing, but that's not always bad news. When those fronts come through from the nor'east like that, you get a barometric pressure change, and that often triggers a good bite. So the snapper may come on over the weekend and early next week, and it'd be well worth a look up there, I would think. The tides at the moment, incoming tide seems to be the best. So you got high tide on Saturday about 10:30 in the morning. So you could get there early in the morning, fish that incoming tide, fish the change of light in the morning and then the incoming tide. Or you could leave it till late in the afternoon. You got low tide around about 4 o'clock, 4:20 to be exact. So you could fish that incoming tide, so you got the first couple of hours lift coming into the change of light. That would be quite a good one in the Coromandel as well. Over the hill into the Mercury Bay region, Mare Island, Motiti, those sort of areas there, some quite nice snapper. Mitch on the good ship Leander, he was out the other day at Mare Island fishing on Tuhua Reef, and they got 20 snapper and he lost an absolute beauty. Didn't put a trace on, so silly boy. Also, Graham Hornsey from Matamata Butchery, he got a nice 15 pounder at Motiti the other day, fishing over the foul ground, just on the edge of the foul, so well worth a look if you get a chance, but I think the conditions mightn't be too good out there in the Bay of Plenty at the moment. Now, how would you like a new reel coming your way? From Kilwell, of course, our illustrious sponsors. We would love to put you in the draw to win that reel. You can get in the draw by giving us a call on 0508 647462. That number again, 0508 647462. This has been Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Hooked on Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first.